Alrighty, what is going on everybody? In today's video we will be doing how to practice for next FNCS. So the FNCS this season is now over, but there is still a trio FNCS next season. So you can use this time right now that's in between. I mean, we still have until September 18th, I think, until the next season even starts, and then we have a bit more until FNCS even starts. So I'm just going to be talking about how you can use this time in between the end of this season, or basically now until the end of the season, and the start of next season until FNCS to practice. So first off, these are going to be broken apart into three sections. We're going to have section number one, which is early game. So obviously, next FNCS is going to be next season, so we aren't really sure what is going to happen to the map yet. Hopefully there's some huge changes. Like I want to see like 80% of all the POIs completely changed. That would be, pretty much exactly what I want to see. But I do not think that is going to happen. Just with the pattern they've had for the past seasons, they just haven't really changed anything. So I don't think it's going to happen. But just in case that is going to happen, might happen, you want to develop, your ability for your team to adapt to a new POI. So from right now until the start of next season, pick a brand new POI that you and your trio maybe have a little bit of knowledge of, but you don't have like a lot of competitive knowledge on about. And then learn that together as a team. This will build chemistry as well as building your ability to adapt to a new POI. So let's say you land dirty and you've never landed at steamy before. So land Steamy together as a team. Watch other pros that land at Steamy, like Mr. Savage's trio, and I think doesn't Creo and Bucky and them land at Steamy. But watch teams that land at Steamy and develop your knowledge of Steamy together, and just get better all around landing at Steamy. So within section number one, we have step number one, which I kind of covered. Pick a new POI, learn it together as a team, develop loop paths and strategies when conned, as well as what to do when unconned. So step number two, play arena / scrims until you have completely learned your POI as well as the drop, so how to quickly get to the ground and beat everybody. Step number three, continue landing there until next season starts. So this will develop your early game together, fighting as a team, fighting together with the strategies you guys have developed, looting a POI quickly, getting out on good timing, everything like that. So section number two, mid-game. To practice mid-game for FNCS requires you to take some self-reflection of your trio's playstyle. Do you guys prefer to just get tags mid-game and not really look for an edge fight, or somewhere to third party, or are you guys the opposite? Do you guys prefer to land somewhere on the edge of the map, avoid people, you just get your tags until end game and chill? In end game, do you prefer, to chill and rotate and just do your own thing until you need a refresh, or are you guys going straight up through the middle, always getting kills? So in between these seasons and this season, next season, you're going to be practicing your POI like section one, and you're also going to be practicing which one you're not that good at. Ideally, you want to get good at fighting in mid game in case you run into a team that wants to fight you, or you see a team that might be shambles and you get a 3-2-1 or whatever happens. You want to practice those mid game fights in the most realistic scenarios as possible. So the idea is that, let's say you're landing Steamy now and you take the silo out to Spire, and then you take Spire to Orchard, and you want to have a mid-game fight at Orchard. So you guys want to practice that, practice fighting like that, fighting together, building your fighting chemistry, how you guys all fight together, what type of fighting style you want, everything like that. And how do you practice that? Well, the best place to practice that is just in a ladder. And if you don't know what a ladder is, it's basically a scrim or a tournament that is held by a scrim server or Discord server, such as KNG, East Opens, G2 scrims, etc. And there are no rules. Usually the only rule is that you can't brainlessly W key, but it's pretty flexible because if you think you're better than all the other teams, then it's not a brainless key. So you can really just use that excuse. And just as a recap to how to practice mid-game, step number one, land out your POI and have an understanding of where nearby teams land with a mastered loot path, loot up, and quickly push over to another POI or find a dead side team to fight. Step number two, play ladders to practice this. Arena is pretty bad right now for practicing pushing another POI. Arena has first zone closes, like 18 people left in trio, so it's pretty ass right now for practicing. Step number 3, play 3v3s when ladders are not running. So realistic, zone wars, box fights, use this to build your chemistry or practice in different fighting styles. So section number 3 is endgame. To practice endgame, you should first want to identify what type of team you are at the endgame. Do you prefer to be on height, low, or mid ground somewhere? Then find a pro team that has the exact same type of style. VOD review their FNCS games and learn from them. Then try to apply the knowledge from the VOD reviews into your own games and how you practice. So how do you do this? Step number 1, develop a surge plan. If you're landing on Steamy, figure out where you can get surge from around Steamy. You can get it on the Orchard team, the corner team, the corny team, the commie split team. If you go up, you might be able to fight either the radar station team or keep going and try to get surge on the craggy team, whatever, something like that. Step number 2, have a plan for who is tarping and what everyone's position is inside the tunnel. So the idea is that if you're tunneling to move in, zone, or half and half, or whatever you're rotating to, have a plan on who goes where, and then try to practice that as much as possible. So how do you practice that? Well, step number 3 is you practice with scrims / ladders. So these should give you a pretty good end game experience. Some of them are close to what FNCS are like. Some of them are way more stacked. Some of them are like you get 30, 40 people half and half, or 30, 40 people like not half and half, like fourth zone. So it's pretty a hit or miss. If it ends up the scrim is going to hit hard. I find the lesser popular servers are more stacked just because no one's going to grief in G2 scrims out of the 33 trios just because it take like 7 minutes to get into the game because it's like a pretty much dead server. But KNG, there's a scrim every 5 minutes, so everyone's gonna grief a lot more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and use this time wisely in between now and next season to get a head start on everyone else for FNCS. And yeah, cheers.